Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody tonight? Good. I hope you got your books. You need your step by step book, okay? And you need your CPT book. How'd you guys get along with what you had to do last night and the night before? You should be excellent with it by now. So, our classes are the same. We start with the step by step book and then we move on to the CPT. So it's time for CPT now. Okay. Let me put the chats up. Okay. So we have already done a few chapters, a few sessions, a few series in the CPT book and also the step by step book. Okay. When we do the step by step book, it's pretty much your review of what we are going to do. At this point, I'm assuming you guys should have your books, but then you have students who are coming in. We have the new students that are coming in, and there are several people doing the archive. And oh my God, thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel. Continue to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you guys give me a thumbs up. Okay. So I got a few emails, and it's really about class and how the class goes. You know, some people are new to medical billing, some people are already in medical billing, um, or you're in the hospital and you just want to kind of move over. Absolutely, this class is for you. Um, some people, don't want to kind of dive right in, but it's YouTube, it's free. Okay, this is the book for beginners, for when you are beginning. You can go to Amazon and get this book, or you can go to my website and order this book. Okay, this is for people who want to know about medical billing and coding. Okay, um, in this program, we go step by step. You guys know that. And tonight we just kind of jump right in the musculoskeletal system. We've already done most of what we need to do. And again, this is just putting you in the right place. But you guys, to get the full throttle of the class, you need to join the Sapphire Academy. Go to my website and look at register, and you can join from there. When you go to the website, there's a grant there for $1,250. That grant is automatically taken off when you go to the website. Okay, so you're going to get the advanced course. All right, just go in there and don't worry about the $13.49 because y'all got a grant for $12.50. Okay, it's only going to be $99. So let me put the glasses on so we can kind of get started. So the links that should be below here is for your books. Okay, if you don't have your book, okay, we are in step by step. Where is it? And you don't need to have a 2026. Okay, you can have a 2024. 2025 is okay. The step by step book has not changed much. Okay, but if you are going to take your exam, okay, I'm expecting you to have 2026. Okay, uh, you can take your exam with 2025, but we just kind of prefer you to have 2026. Okay. And even if you're just kind of starting out, I've got one on there. I think I got a 2024, 2025, a couple of old ones that are like $25, $40. I haven't put them in my bookstore yet, but I will put them in there. Okay. Um, so you guys already know what book we're working in. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. Just to let y'all know what book we're in. But those of you who've been in my class for a minute, you guys know which book we are in. And we're just going to take it from there. I am going to throw in there is going to be a class after this. I might do it tomorrow because it's not an official class. It's pretty much about the Sapphire Academy because some of you are inquiring about the Sapphire Academy. Okay. If my screen does not share with you, I'm still going to post. I'm going to post a Word document and then link, not this one. I'm going to post a Word document on the YouTube. Okay. But musculoskeletal system, you guys should already have, I was looking for this. You guys should already have your book. And most of the work that's in here, I know you've done already because we're generally finished with step by step. Okay, I'm gonna stop this one because I don't even think it's popping up. So if you don't have your book, go ahead and get those links on the bottom. Okay, and those links on the bottom will give you about 35% of the book. Okay, now you should have your step-by-step book. All right. I'm going to use the ebook. You guys go ahead and use that book there. That's in the Kindle. Okay. Excision, incision, introduction, removal. You guys should have already done that already. And if you feel like, when you start studying and you feel like you ain't get it yet, stop and then study again. Stop and then start studying again. Because if you get to the point where you just want to pass out from you're just reading to read, you're not going to take in the work. Okay, you can't just read to read. Okay, you must take in the work that you are studying. I'm telling you right now, it's proven fact. When it starts circulating, when you're reading and you start saying the reading without even looking at it, that's when you got it. When you can finish the sentence without looking at it, that's when you got it. If you can't, then you have not retained what you read. Okay. So studying is tricky. That's why I said just do the Monday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Do your theory. Okay. Do your theory. Okay. Your theory and practice here, we do like an hour and a half, right? The theory is me doing the class. Practice is you doing the work at home and you also doing theory. But when you get to the point where you feel like you just want to hurry up and finish the paragraph, that's when you're done. Okay, y'all know, y'all heard me say that for years, because I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Okay, in the step-by-step book, the musculoskeletal system was large. Okay, integumentary was also a huge chapter, so that's why I'm kind of stretching it out as much as we can. Okay, because you've got to understand these type of bone fractures. Okay, and when you taking your test, when you're taking your certification, it's best that you can visualize these things, because you might choose the wrong one if you can't. Y'all hear me say this all the time. It's almost like being a surgeon when you're literally coding, okay, for the exam. Okay, you have to be par with what you are reading and retain what you are reading. Okay, those of you who are in the class on the YouTube, okay, I'm encouraging y'all to go ahead and join Sapphire Academy. There's a grant on that website for $1,250. Use that grant, okay? All you have to pay is $90, okay? When you study, I want you to make a flash drive, okay? Not this many. This is mine, okay? And I want you to put orientation. That's your orientation. Put it in there whenever you want to. Okay, you can even put these things in your phone. Okay, this is for those of you who are in the Sapphire Academy. Why to you? Y'all need to be in the Sapphire Academy. Go on my website and you can get on Sapphire Academy. Okay, I'm gonna put it up. Well, that's really it. It's sapphirecoding.com. Okay, y'all see that YouTube's everything's all the same channel. Everything's Sapphire Coding. Okay, so that's one of the most important things you're going to do is retain. Okay, and study and retain. So Monday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm sticking with Monday, Friday, and Saturday because that's your normal class hours for me. Even if I'm not able to do the class, that's still your normal time. Okay, that's still your normal time. Okay, 6 to 8 is your normal time. So that's your study time. Because you can do 2 or 3 classes at a time. Okay, you can archive the classes as much as you want to. Okay, the main thing is retaining the work. Okay, now in Sapphire Academy, you have an abundant amount of work that is going to help you with what you need to do. Okay. You also will get the one-on-one, even with the musculoskeletal system that we're pushing in right now. If you guys that are on YouTube need like a one-on-one, your DM is your one-on-one. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this one time. Let me see. Let me see if this works. This used to work. I don't know why this is not working where you guys cannot see my screen. Um, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna put it up in your next classes. I'm gonna do it in I'm gonna do it in what is it, OBS? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do it in OBS. But at any rate, in the Sapphire portal, which is where the classes are as well, these links are also loaded in the Sapphire portal. You just get more. You get your schedules, you get your syllabus, you get a list of the required books, which you've already seen because I've done plenty of classes with that. You'll get all 20 classes. Okay? You get all 20 classes. Yes, there are 20 classes because everything that's in your step-by-step book and your CPT is what we go over. So in the Sapphire Academy, it's step-by-step, same thing. Especially if somebody is new to medical billing and coding. Okay. So again, in the step-by-step book, you guys had exercise to do. Okay. So, and remember, when you guys are, if you guys are using that ebook, the step-by-step ebook, just kind of screenshot the figure 15:1, the fractures. Okay. Screenshot those fractures. All right. Because that's something that more than likely going to be on your test. They're going to give you a description of it and ask you what the name of it is. Okay. And again, if you guys want to take a look at what's probably going to be on the test, go to the website, www.aapc.com. Okay. So I did get a lot of emails from y'all. Some of y'all are struggling with your study. So we're going to reiterate that again. When you get tired of reading, stop. Okay, stop. And you can also do a study group with a friend, a partner, or something like that, just so that you can test your knowledge. Okay, especially those of you who are already in the hospital, just do your lunch break and stop. Come home, do an hour and stop. Because studying, studying is hard. If you don't feel that you are retaining what you are studying, then you got to change up. Start using index cards. Start using what do you call these? Whatever these things is. Start using this. Okay. Put it in your phone. Listen to it. Okay. Listen to the chats because you have to start retaining what you are doing. Okay. So I don't know who asked me that, but take a break when you feel like you're getting tired. Stop. Okay. You don't need to do the whole thing because a musculoskeletal system. I know that was a big chapter. It's a big chapter. And with that, you all still had to look through your CPT. You still had to look through the CPT. There were fractures that you needed to identify. The dislocations, you guys were supposed to read and go over that. So again, in Sapphire Academy, you guys do not have to, you don't even have to go over the chat. Sapphire Academy, you can download whatever you want in there. Okay, but here it's pretty much the same thing. There it's like it's digital documentation that you're going to download. The only thing you have to do is here is go back in here as much as you want to archive your class. Okay, archive your class. Okay, yeah. So this you were supposed to do too. The exercise is 15:1. I'm just sliding through step by step. That's what I'm doing. I'm just sliding through step by step. Okay, last thing that you were supposed to do was complete the following with the correct glossary term answers located in Appendix C. Don't do the answers yet. Do the work and then do the answers, okay? So that's what you guys were supposed to do. So the next thing you were supposed to do, let me get the book up. So I'm getting ready to go to the CPT book, okay? You guys go ahead and put a CPT book. So remember the books that I gave you, remember the ebooks? They will have musculoskeletal system in them. That sounded crazy. Okay. Look in that CPT book. Go to the section that we're already in, musculoskeletal system. I don't know why this is looking like this. So I'm going to pull this up on my end. I'm going to snatch this one right here. And what I'm pulling up is nothing. The links, same links that I gave you guys. Mine is just a teacher's version, but you guys already have these links, okay? So you guys also have the CPT 2026. That link should be right below you, okay? And it goes to musculoskeletal system. Musculoskeletal, I can't even talk. Section is 20,000 series, okay? Now, feel free to go over integumentary as well. You don't have to just move on because we're moving on. You could always freeze. So if we're doing musculoskeletal system tonight and we're just kind of looking over the CPT book, pause, go back to integumentary, or when you study tonight, do an hour, okay? You don't have to just kind of keep moving on how we're moving on. I'm just flowing with the classes. Make sure you guys are in the right place. All right. I might can put y'all on the right page. You guys got any questions? Put them over in the chat box. I know I usually type a whole bunch of stuff up over there, but I'm not going to do too much typing. Replantation, 20,000. So the 20,000 series is musculoskeletal system, okay? It's imperative that you know these series, okay? Count them down. All right. So maybe I'll let it go this way. I'm pretty sure you guys had fun with the flap grass, right? That was an integumentary system. And as much as I did this in class, I know I can't even show you. I don't know. I can't do it on the stream. Let me tell you, this was the most difficult to do. Okay, the flaps and the graphs. Okay, on your test, just visualize it. Okay, right after this class, we got another one. I'm still gonna pull this up. Okay, I'm just trying to get to the same area that you guys are in the books that I gave you. So you guys should have the 2026 CPT book. Okay, there should be links below that will give you that book. Okay. Again, you know, we've done with the step-by-step. You guys should be in your CPT book. And like I said, if you get tired of studying, you have to stop because you're going to forget what you studied and you're going to burn out. So you know how like when you start reading and you like so interested, your optimism is through the roof. And then an hour down the line, you just okay, you're not interested anymore. You're not interested anymore. Stop. Okay, you're not going to retain that. So remember, some of you have a long-term memory, some have a short-term memory. Test yourself, find out. Read something tonight and see if you can remember it tomorrow. If you don't and you remember it 3 days later, then you have a long-term memory. Okay, so an integumentary system, make sure you guys got the burns down, okay? I'm gonna, everything that we have already went over in this class, you will have a capstone. Let me come out of here so I can see what I'm doing. You will have, I don't know what's up with that. So you will have a capstone. Your capstone is everything that we've gone over, okay? Same thing in the Sapphire Academy. That's your schedule, okay? You guys can go to my website and look at your schedule. We up here, I think. Everything in your class that we go over is going to be in a capstone. The capstone is everything we read, everything in the step-by-step book, ICD-10. It's like in a nutshell. Okay, that's your last chance to ask questions. Okay, that's what the capstone is. Okay, and I give you guys a capstone too, so it's pretty much the same. Okay, so don't forget that. But the studying, I got over 22 emails about the studying. After, if you burn out, don't read anymore. Okay, y'all tell me about the him test. Did anybody take the him test that we had up there? Uh, look in uh, look in the look in the post. I also put that test in the post. Okay, so yeah, you can take it and send it back to me, or just let me know. In your CPT book, you should be a musculoskeletal system. Okay, that's where you should be. Let me get rid of that before this knocks out. Okay. Somebody also asked me about the CPC guide. Yes, the CPC guide does come in ebook. Okay, it does come in ebook. It does come in ebook. Okay. I mean, I think the ebook is cool because you can get the ebook and you can have 4 or 5 of your friends and all of y'all can look at the same book. I mean, y'all can have like a group session. I went to the library a little bit earlier and I saw the girls having a group session. They all was at one laptop, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. I mean, they were having like girls' day out. I'm pretty sure, but you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. So where I'm going is I'm strolling through integumentary system. That's why I'm on my way getting to musculoskeletal system. The Mohs surgery. Remember, I told y'all to make sure y'all study the Mohs surgery. Okay. Mohs micrographic surgery is a technique for the removal of complex or ill-defined skin cancer with histologic examination of 100% of the surgical margins. Now, no, you don't have to remember the whole thing, but I still want you to get familiar with that. That sounds like something that's going to be on the test. Now, I know some of you are not going to take your test. Okay. Some of you are just kind of getting abreast on what you may have forgot, or what you may have, you know, not used in a long time, you know, but those of you who are, make sure you take notes to some of the things when you hear me say test. Your lesson in Sapphire Academy, your notes in the Sapphire Academy. When you see a note that says test, that means that it's a possibility it's going to be on a test. Okay. Even in your other book, even in the Q&A book, some of you who might be new to the class, even in here, if you see something that says test, what's going on back here? You see something that says test that I put in here, that means that it's possibly going to be on the test. Okay. Mastectomy procedures, code 19300, mastectomy. Make sure you guys read that. Okay. Because there's coding that you're supposed to do. Okay. You remember last time we went over the concepts of the coding, right? We went over the concepts of the coding. I'm going to stick this right here. I don't know why. Oh, I must have been showing y'all an anatomy of the eye. Okay, that's cool. And again, go through your full CPT book, even if you have an ebook. Some of you have both. Go through your book. Go through your book, so that you can start, like I said, so you can start get familiar with your book. All right, so it's on. I don't know what page. 8,275. That's what it says. Okay. So I went through the book that I gave you guys, that Kindle one. And that's where it's at. All right. So you're in the surgery section, right? Remember, we're in the surgery section. Musculoskeletal system, right? Is 20,000 series, right? Because we did the 10,000 series. That was integumentary system, right? And you guys kind of went through the back looking for some codes and stuff like that. Okay. You're going to do the same thing here. Okay, the musculoskeletal system is 20,129,999. Okay. Make sure you read that in its entirety. In that Kindle book, you could actually click the link and it'll open up to where you need to be. So if you go to general, that little blue line there, if you click on it, it will open up the full surgery section for you right there. Okay. So those of you, I don't know if you online or some of you who already have, let me expand my desk. All right. No, I actually no, I use the hard copy books too. I used them too. So you guys remember when I said I want you to kind of go through each page, go through each page and just kind of take a look at some of the things that are in here. I mean, you could even read it just like you're reading a regular book. Just like you're reading a regular book, you could just go through here. But it's generally to get you to read some of the guidelines ahead of time before you even get to it. So, even though we've been a while, even with musculoskeletal system, you guys actually reading the musculoskeletal system in the surgery section is getting you ahead of the game. Every section has guidelines, right? Remember we were talking about that? Every section has guidelines, okay? And you need to read them so you can code with these. Now, on the bottom of your CPT book, okay, there's several symbols down there. I want you to get to know them. In your ebook that I gave you, it's a free book, so of course they're going to limit stuff. I don't see any down here, but there is a page at the beginning of the book that tells you about your symbols. Okay, that tells you about your symbols. So in the surgery section, this for YTU, Sapphire Academy, you guys have notes on this already. I mean, if you guys are archiving, that's good, but you guys already have notes on this already. Um, Make sure that if you are looking for a code and you cannot find it, use other procedure codes or unlisted. Okay. I'm just going to kind of scroll down. Those of you who have your book, I'm on page 155. Okay. So you guys also remember when I told y'all about the segmental spine instrumentations? Make sure that you are familiar with the T8, T9, T10, L1, L2. See, this is what I was talking about. I'm on page 156. You guys see this like a bracket in there? This bracket that's in here is what we were talking about. Let me see if you can get it in here. We were talking about screws and plates and stuff like that the last time that we were talking. Okay. So you guys have the same thing here. What I'm pulling up is your 2026, your skull. Okay, so yeah, so just kind of scroll down and go to 8291. Okay, it's going to show you lumbar vertebrae, L1, L2, L3. So if you have something on your chest and says what's L1, right, lumbar vertebrae 1, or they may ask you what that means. Okay, you know now what that means. Okay, so there are things in this book as far as the illustrations that they're going to ask you on your exam. I don't know, I got the air freezing in here. Okay, so I'm just trying to see if there are. The most guidelines are in the front. Most of the guidelines you're going to read are in the front. But I do want you guys to still go to your book. Okay, repair, revision. Okay, fracture, dislocation. Yes, I want you to do those. So last week you guys were to look at your tabular list and find some of the codes that you have, and you're finding these codes in the numeric type of form, or you're finding them in numbers. Okay. I don't know why my books feel like it's backwards. Hold on. And if there's some codes that maybe you're having a tough time with, or even if you can't even pronounce it, I put it on search engine and break it up. Y'all see how I do? I can't pronounce none of them. All right, so let me see what's going on in here. So we're on musculoskeletal system, and you guys should be in your CPT book. Okay, you should be in your CPT book. Okay. In your CPT book, I want you to go straight to the index. Just go to the index. I just want you to kind of get used to what's in the index. Same thing that we did before. So let me get rid of this. So that's what you guys should be looking at. I'm going to look at it in the regular book. So I've got that CPC guide up, but I've got to show you all that another time. I can't seem to get it up from here. So in your CPT book, I'm on page 10,093 in the index. Okay, so this is how we learn. Okay, you must look at your index and then go to your code. If you can't find it, use another form. Okay, you may have to choose unlisted, but you still have to read the unlisted to make sure you choose the correct one. Okay, so in the beginning of your index, when we did integumentary, we just kind of went around in it. But tonight, you guys are doing musculoskeletal system in your index. So one, you're going through musculoskeletal system the same way. But tonight, I want you to read the index guidelines, instructions for the use of the CPT index. Okay, that's the good thing about coding. It's directives everywhere. Okay, and this is giving you a description of what you should be looking for. The alphabetic index is not a substitute for the main text of the CPT code book. Your main text is in the front. Okay, it's in the front. Okay, even if only one code is present, the user must refer to the main text to ensure that the code selected accurately identifies the service performed. What does that mean, Ms. Lambert? When you go to the index and you find your code, you are to go to the front of your book, go to that section in 20,000 series, read the code, and make sure that it matches with whatever is in the report to a T. Okay? Make sure that it matches. This is just telling you not to only rely on the index. That's all it's telling you. Don't code from the index, okay? Main terms. I want you to go ahead and read the main terms and how the index is organized. Last week, we just kind of went and did it, okay? But this week, I want you guys to go ahead and read, which you should have done already. I want you guys to go ahead and read that. Okay, so modifying terms and main term may be followed by up to 3 indented terms that modify the term they follows. Now, what they're talking about, remember I was saying, if you find your terminology that you're looking for, if you'll find what the provider was doing, and every time it indents, it changes the code. It changes the whole surgery completely, right? You remember we was talking about that? You go find stomach, what did the doctor do? Where was the patient hurting? Surgery, cut, bariatric, which bariatric. Every time you do it, it's going to be indented. And it's telling you more of a description. Okay? I'm just giving you a quick rundown. Okay? But I want you guys to make sure you read this. They have like a little exercise here. It's not exercise, but it's just kind of telling you. So go find bile duct, removal, and then foreign body. Right? So the doctor did a procedure on the bile duct, all right? Where? On the bile duct. What did he do? He removed something. What did he remove? A foreign body. What's your code? That last one, foreign body. Everything from the top, bile duct and removal, is in that code, okay? So I don't really have to tell you like a step-by-step, even though, last week we just kind of went and did it. This week, I want you to read the guidelines, okay? I want you to read how we did it, why we did it like that, because this is the way we code. This section, your index in the beginning, your instructions for the use of the CPT index, that's what it is. Because remember, this is a self-taught class. You guys are literally teaching yourself, okay? So, and that is the same thing for everything else. Like the first one that we just did, right? A main term may be followed by up to 3 indented terms that modify the terms they follow. Now, when they say modifying the procedure, changing it, making it into something else. Okay, so do not forget that. So we're talking about bile duct, removal, foreign body. So once you find bile duct, you got that code. When you got to bile duct, what did he do? He removed something. What did he remove? He removed the foreign body. That foreign body, 43275, that's your code. Everything we just mentioned is in there. Same thing with spleen. What did he do this procedure on spleen? What did he do? He removed something, right? Here, 38120. Look for that. So if you say removal, he removed the spleen. So don't forget to do this. I know we did it quick last week. We didn't even look at this, but this week I want y'all to look at the guidelines, okay? Because the only way that you're going to get used to the coding is if you continue to do it. Continue to, right or wrong, just continue to do it, okay? Code range, I want you to, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I want you guys to do it. When they say code range for 40,000 series, then 50,000 code range. So if it's 43300, 2, 43310, 2, 43313. Those three codes are the only codes that's in that range. Go to esophagus. So we're still in your index, but you guys can go to the esophagus just to kind of get a little funky with your book, okay? Conventions. That's what we was talking about earlier, about 15 minutes ago, the conventions. So if you have a hard copy, you guys will see a lot of the different conventions that's on the bottom. You guys will see a lot of different, I'll call them thumbtacks on the bottom that will change your code, okay? So you guys didn't have to do that last week, but I want you to just read this. It's all based on you guys reading this. But I still want you to look through your book. You're not going to remember what's in the index, no way. But if you get used to looking at the first portion of your book, your notes that you put, remember I told you about those note keys? Let me put it up. Those pages with those notes, here they go. So remember, I said you could put notes here. It's probably about 5 of these in here. Don't go nuts, because the proctor is going to look at this. If she sees you got a whole book in there, she ain't gonna let you use that book. Just put a little note here, a couple of notes over here, a couple of notes over there. Okay. So that's why I said don't get lost. Don't put notes in here that's already in the book. Okay. Don't put notes in this already in the book. That's why I want you to get one of these. This is gonna be your cheap thing right here. Okay. I'll do them labels. I got them in here somewhere. But this is gonna save you time when you're taking your tests. Okay. So when you put your tabs in your book, I forgot the book. I took my book down with the tabs in. Okay. I haven't even done this one yet. But this is a good lifesaver. It's going to save you. Tab the top of your book so you can flip real quick. You need to get to the 20,000 series. Tab your book. Flip real quick. Go look for that video that I got up there on tabbing. Okay, so y'all can tab your book. Okay, so before you even start with your index, make sure you read those guidelines. Okay. So last week I showed y'all how to look for a code in there. Sometimes you have to code in reverse. So again, if you look for that code, if you look for a code and you cannot find it, okay, flip it. Okay, flip the code and then you try to find it another way. As long as what you're looking for is in there, it's fine. I'm looking for some here. I don't see any in here. Diagnostic shoulder arthroscopy. There's only one code for that. So if you look for diagnostic shoulder arthroscopy and you don't find it, flip that arthroscopy shoulder diagnostic. Okay. So there's several ways that you're going to look for your code. The normal way is we code in reverse. When we do ICD-10, we code in reverse. Okay. CPT is the same way. If you can't find what you're looking for, flip it. Okay. And this is because, I want you guys to kind of get used to the reading, get used to your book. When you guys start coding with ease, it should be a problem. Okay, it shouldn't be a problem. So that's your index. That's what you're going to do for your index. Now, again, whether you have the hard copy or whether you have let me get the ebook up. I got both of them up in case you guys are switching out. Okay. So let me get to mine. So this one has the same stuff. Okay. Let me see if it's open. Yeah, perfect. So when you guys, the books that I sent you, I sent you guys the 2026 CPT book. It's the same thing. Click it. I mean, some of us are not ebooks. I didn't used to either. I'm telling you, I used to hate ebooks. But through the years, I've learned to love the ebooks better than the hard copy. I gave you guys 2026 ICD-10. I gave you 2026 CPT. Okay, use the books. It has the same thing in here. So you're going to your index, you're going to read that. That's for tonight. All right, I'm just kind of going back. What series is musculoskeletal system in? 20,000 series, Miss Lambert, right? As I know you guys have already went to your book. Cardiovascular, what series is cardiovascular? 30,000 series. Digestive system, what series is the digestive system? 40,000 series. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I want you to make sure you go through your book. Okay, when you start tabbing your book, that's what you're going to tab, so you can run back and find what you need. Okay, so when you're on your test, I don't want you to waste too much time on one question and you're looking for something. Okay, go to that section and find it. Okay, I'm not going to say whether you're going to have enough of time to go through your index or not, but try to be as fast as you can and as accurate as you can be. Okay, there is, you guys have the same illustration. The illustrations are the pictures, are, you know, all of these clavicle humerus. It's just a bone body system. Okay, that's illustrations. You see all those pictures in there, that's what they are. I want you to look at every single one of them. This is the main one in particular. I'm on page 119. Okay, as soon as you come into this section, and this is in your ebooks that I gave you, it's just a little easier for me to show you like that. Okay, that's the page that you should be on. You see all those descriptions of those bones? Make sure you got them. Okay, tarsals, metatarsals. Okay, yeah, some of that's going to be on your test. Some of that's going to be on your test. It may be, where is, you know, maxilla. They may have A, B, C, D, whatever, multiple choice, arm, leg, foot, mouth. They're going to ask where it is. Okay. So as far as this illustration, this is just the beginning of the surgical section. Make sure that you take heed to what's in here. And again, it's just going to take you looking at your book, reviewing. Again, you know, don't sleep on the Sapphire Academy. Okay. I have a field of medicine packet in there that you can study from. Okay. That you can study from. Okay. Carpals, metacarpals, ulnar, radius. This is in your book too. I don't want to look for it because I don't want to read my book. Okay. The lumbar, thoracic vertebrae. Make sure you guys read all of that. I'm trying to see how deep do they get with guidelines in the front. Not really. Just read this portion right here. Once you actually get into it, there will be more guidelines, but I want you to still look at those illustrations. Muscle system, look at that. All right, so yeah, you do have guidelines in here. What time is it? So you're going to read the musculoskeletal system from 127 to 128. Okay, so all services that appear in the musculoskeletal system section include the application and removal of the first cast, splint, or traction device. Traction device, you know, you see that thing with the iron in there? Remember we went over that last week? Go back over your musculoskeletal, you'll see that. Okay, traction is something that hold you in the air or hold something open. Okay, or hold something up, hold something together. Fracture and dislocation treatment. Yes, you're going to read that. Manipulation. We went over manipulation last week, right? Manipulation, reduction by the application of manually applying force. Right? Remember we did that. I saw somebody do it on Twitter. Literally, I don't even think the little boy had day shit or nothing. I mean, he literally manipulated his wrist right back in place with him awake. Okay, you guys see people like sometimes they shoulder fall out. My nephew's shoulder used to fall out all the time. You know, you have to yank it back in place. Okay, you know, painful. You see my nephew. I wanted to cry for him. That thing hurt him so bad. Okay, traction, skeletal traction, closed treatment. Remember we talked about closed treatment. Okay, go look at that. We ain't going over that. Go look at that video before this one. Open treatment, Percutaneous skeletal fixure. External fixure is fixation. I'm just saying fixture. Okay. Which is only a little bit. That's the only thing I want y'all to do tonight with the musculoskeletal system. Okay. There will be no coding yet at this time. Only what you did in the step-by-step book. Okay. Only what you did in the step-by-step book. CPT manual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because you had ICD-10 in here too. So I want you guys to make sure you finish that. It's a lot in here. Okay. Just mess around with it. I don't care if you get it right or wrong. Mess around with it. Look in the back of the book. Get your answers. Okay. After you kind of mess around with it. This is getting you used to the coding. Your advanced section. When we finish with this section of the CPT, we're moving on to your advanced section. Okay. So in this book, I want you to go step by step. Look at each page. I don't care how big this section is. You are looking at each page of this section. Okay. Trigger point in section. Yeah, that sounds like something that's going to be on your test. All right. Coding, let me tell you something. Coding is something that you really have to want to do. Okay. And I do hear a lot of people say, oh, no, that's too much. It's not too much. You have to read it and you have to take in what you're reading. That's why we do it step by step. And I'm not rushing you because I need to make sure that you are taking this in. You see how I mentioned the trigger point injection? That trigger point injection may be on the CPC. Okay, so when in your book, I'm on page 130. Okay, if you have an ebook, just keep flipping till you see trigger point injection. Okay, and a lot of these injections are in the musculoskeletal system because that is where your shot is. Okay, orthocentesis, aspiration or injections of major joint or bursa. Some of it is actually going that deep. Okay, so I want you guys to make sure you look at that. Okay, cross sections through the body wall at level of lumbar vertebrae. When you hear me say lumbar, you know I'm talking about lumbar. The dead giveaway L is lower. So you see that on your test, you know what they're talking about. Okay, you know what they're talking about. So I definitely want you to read the codes. Read the code. So if I go 20552 injection, single or multiple trigger point, 1 or 2. 20553, single or multiple trigger point. I'm surprised that they don't have this over more. It should be over more. So 20552 injections. Remember I said every time they indent, they're going deeper. They're describing to you what else is going on in this procedure. So the 20552 is telling you what happened. It's telling you what happened. What happened, Miss Lambert? The provider did an injection, right? Because remember the first thing that we talked about like 5 minutes ago. That's why I want y'all to read the guidelines in the back before you even start looking for the codes. Not like how we did last week. We just kind of ran through. So 20552 says injections, single or multiple trigger points, right? It's telling you what that code is referring to. Okay, then when you get to 20553, it says single or multiple trigger points, 3 or more muscles. So if you have 20552 and you know they're talking about injections, but they're talking about 1 or 2 muscles, we're still talking about trigger points. 20553 is saying single or multiple trigger points. When you read your notes, it's either going to say one or the other. Okay, make sure that you choose one or the other. Right here is where I want you to highlight where it says 3 or more. And then the other one says 1 or 2. Because you see how the code is, right? Everything sounds the same, boom, until you get to 1 or 2. So if I say, if you have the paperwork, well, what did the provider do? The provider gave an injection. Okay, you just reading off fast, but wait a minute. You didn't look at 1 or 2 because the other one says 3 or more. Right. So that's what I want you to highlight. Okay. Now I don't know about the ebook. Well, you can highlight on the ebook. I don't know if you guys know how to do that, but if you have your book, go ahead and highlight that. Okay. Y'all know this is my go-to. Boom. Okay. Highlight that because that code at the end, remember what I said, a lot of codes look the same until you get to the end, and that little one is different. So that one is 1 to 2, the other one is 3 or more. Okay. So again, I want you to make sure you read that. Okay. We were talking about external fixation, tractions. Okay, that's all in here. So that's what y'all are going to be reading too. Okay. So when you get to Halo's going to be on your test. I'm pretty sure. Okay. A cranial halo is placed on the head of a child whose skull is unusually thin due to congenital or developmental problems. Okay. I'm on page 132. I'm on page 132. Okay, y'all. I would take a look at that. Take a look at that so you guys can get used to what a halo is. Okay. If those of you go on my website, look at the schedule. Put this back up. Look at the schedule. This is the schedule. Okay, it was up there. I took it down. It's on my website. Go to sapphirephysiciancoding.com. Okay. Let me put it right here. All right, go to sapphirephysiciancoding.com and y'all can take a look at the schedule. Okay. Because at the end, you have to give me a certain, well, YouTube, you can if you want to. Okay. So, definitely read about the halo. Okay. Read about the halo because that is definitely something that may be on your test. 20690. Go look for that code. Okay, 20690. Just go straight to the code. You don't have to go to the back of the book. Just go find that code in Musculoskeletal system. I'm on page 132. Application of a uniplan, pins or wires, and one plane unilateral external fixation. Okay. So, and again, there are guidelines here as well. Make sure you guys are clear on traction. Okay. Make sure you're clear on traction. Now that page that I showed you that illustration with the types of bone fractures. Make sure you go over that tonight as well. Okay. And again, you guys should be looking through this book. Your next class is not until Friday or Saturday. So you have plenty of time to look through your CPT book. Okay, repair, revision, and reconstruction, introduction or removal. Okay, excision, incision. Okay, and remember, the book is by anatomic site. It's by anatomical site. So it goes from head to toe. So every section is going to go from head to toe. Okay, that's why the halo is up there first. Okay. Head prosthesis, then they start talking about neck, arm, stuff like that. Okay, that's what I mean by anatomical site. It's in order. Okay, even when you start talking about the flank and the back, this is still in order. Okay, neck. Okay, flank, back, spine. Okay, and when you get further down into your book, then they're gonna be stuff about hips, legs. Don't worry, you get used to it. It's just a lot. It's just a lot in here. But when you come across a word that you are not clear on, look up the word. Okay, I want y'all to look up the word that you're not clear on. Orthodesis. Okay, you might say dices. Okay, 23800. Okay, manipulation. Okay, you guys know what humerus is. If you forgot, look it up, and if it's still hard for you, some of the medical terminology, go back and do the medical terminology class over. How do I do that, Miss Lambert? Nothing, just archive the class and go over it. If you need to talk to me live, then send me a DM. Okay, send me a DM. Okay, if you join Sapphire Academy, we one-on-one. I don't know what kind of ebonics that was just now. Okay. I know. I haven't even had dinner yet. I just came in and I do the class. I ain't want to delay the class again because I was okay tonight. Last night I had a meeting, so I had to delay that class. Amputation. Go look for 24900. And again, this is getting you used to your book. Used to your book. Okay. Let me see. Do not move on to respiratory. Okay. Because there will be some coding for you to do. And your step-by-step book, you should have work to do. Okay. So when you do your work tonight, I'm talking right to you. Make sure that you do your work in your step-by-step book. Okay. I gave you step-by-step book already. You got 2026. Okay. And this is in here. Now, when we finish with the musculoskeletal system, you should have your books by then, because the book you have only goes up to musculoskeletal system. Okay. You should also purchase it. Okay. Get your books. Get what you need. Okay. Get what you need to do your course. Remember, this is not a micromanaged course. Okay. I want you guys to definitely pay attention when you guys are doing it. Okay. But the book that you have now is good. Okay. I'm not sure what happened to that. It must have quacked out or something. Okay. So amputation of the fractures of the procedures. Okay, that's what you're doing. Remember we talked about hallux valgus correction. We talked about that last week. That's the foot, like the malunion on the foot. Okay. Do not forget to check out that website. Okay, I'm not sure why that blogged out right there. That should still be on. Okay, so it's already 46 minutes in, and we already know how StreamYard is. They might just kick me out. I'm getting ready to come back in 15 minutes with your other class. Okay, but musculoskeletal system is over for this section. That's what you guys are doing. Okay, go through the full musculoskeletal system, do your work in your step-by-step, and read the guidelines before you start looking for the codes. Okay, I'm gone. I will see you in about 20 minutes. Okay, guys, 20 minutes.